Hello everybody. So this is the first attempt that I'm going to make on making a video on the astrology review for the next week, and that will be in English. I will try to upload this one, and I've already made one that is in the Greek language, so if it's easier for you in Greek, please see the other one. I do not mind. What I said on the Greek one, and I'm going to just try and repeat on the English one, because I've never been able to make the same speeches twice. So if you do speak English and Greek and want to watch both of them, which is my pleasure to have you for both, please do not find it so weird that things are not matching up directly with how I said them on the Greek video. So what I was going to say, and I believe as I have the energy spread of the Thoth tarot in front of me right now, is how I ended it on the previous video in the Greek one. I'm going to say, because I have a terrible headache at the moment for some weird reason, that the next week from the 28th of September until the 4th of October, it's going to be a pretty weird week with pretty intense, I believe, intense energies. So what we have here, and let me just try and move this so you can watch the cards. I believe you can watch the cards now. So what we have as the energies for next week is a bit of earth and equal water and equal air. So what I'm feeling from it is that we all feel, and the whole universe feels, that it's an era and a time of not a lockdown exactly, and that's probably the word we all want to not use. So it's kind of failure of a week, that things are not how we want them, that we feel enclosed, that we feel like we're not free to do things. What the cards here tell me, at least, and I'm showing them to you so that you can see them as well, is that we need to take the energy that we're feeling, that things are not going well, that things are very difficult, that we don't deserve it, that we are stuck on something, and change it with an energy that says, yes, okay, things are not well, but I can do better. The Empress was at the end of the deck, so I'm using it to give me some insight on what we can change and how we can use the energy for next week. And what I said on the Greek one, and what I'm going to repeat, is that the Empress to me speaks about nutrition, speaks about motherhood, speaks about the cycles of time. And to me, the Empress there talks about using the waxing and waning moon, the time in between the two moons, of getting full and getting empty, to feed ourselves, just like I believe that's the lark down there feeding its babies from her breast. It's to use this time to feed ourselves and use the nutrients of Mother Earth in order to fight, and the Knight of Swords gives us that meaning of rebelling, of moving forwards fastly, of not staying in one place, and change the whole picture from failure, defeat and insolence, as Thoth puts them here, to our Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups here is kind of hidden behind waters, behind layers, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't see things, and it does not definitely mean that she cannot take care of herself, that she doesn't see things and is not able to act. She is able to act. She chooses not to act for some reason, and maybe that's the whole message that we need to get, that if you don't really feel like you can act, don't act. It is a time of not action, with Mars being retrograde in Aries. I'm saying it correctly, yes. And it is a time of not action, as Mercury is going on through to Scorpio on the 27th of September, tomorrow. This video is being made on the 26th of September, if I'm not wrong. No, I'm not wrong. Yeah, Saturday 26th of September. So tomorrow, 27th of September, Mercury is going on to Scorpio, and to me Scorpio is the hidden warrior that you don't really see, but he's there. He is fighting for the right, he is fighting for the global good, if I can say so, the universal good. And I made a notion about the assassins of the ancient world, of the caste, if I can say that, of assassins, how they were used and how they were operating. It seems to me like Scorpio at the time. You don't see them, you don't see Scorpio, but he is fighting the good fight. That's what I want to say. And I also pulled a card from the Zoe Hind deck, Wisdom from the Woods, and I got the Alder. I am your warrior's action and courage. That's what it says. And here is the card. Here is the card. Okay, and I'm putting it right here again. So what I was gonna say is that this week, with Mercury going into Scorpio, we need to get started to follow Mercury on its retrograde, as it's going to start the whole process of lowering its velocity and going retrograde from the next week, if I'm not very wrong, or later on, in Scorpio, and for the next 3 weeks. Of course, I will try and check on that and come back on a video with that, with the whole retrograde. But what I was gonna say is that on the 28th, 29th of September, Saturn, which has been retrograding in Capricorn, is going to start going forwards again. So it's going to be a time that perhaps that's why we got so much Saturn in those cards, because Saturn is coming forwards again, and maybe there will be upheaval, I believe, because of that, because it's been quite a long time since Saturn went retrograde with the other planets, and now that he's turning forwards again, it's going to take some time for us to get used to it and for him to regain the velocity that he had. That's the one thing. The second thing is that on the 2nd of October we have a full moon on the Libra-Aries axis, with Sun on in Libra and the Moon in Aries, and it's on the 9th sorry, ninth degree. The ascendant on that chart is in the 7th degree of Cancer, and that speaks a lot about family. It speaks a lot about new things and beginning things as a family, or in a more familial concept. And what I did say was that try and find what gives you joy, what you can do to have joy through Mercury in Scorpio in the 5th house, and of course through Uranus, which is retrograding, and it's going to be opposite Mercury, because Mercury next week is making an opposition with Mars, the retrograding. So be careful on how you react, be careful how you talk, be careful not to sound like you demand things. Maybe try and be more contemplating, if I can say that. Try and see where the other person might be right and you might not be so right. That's what I want to say. What else was there? Yes, Mercury is is in opposition with Uranus, so that might bring unconventional ideas, I will say. Use them if you can, or at least write them down. That's what I want to say. And the second part is that it's not an easy full moon, especially in relationships, because things that we might want, the other person might not be able to give. But next day from the full moon, Venus is moving on to Virgo. Venus in Virgo, for a lot of people, when they are trying to analyze it and express an opinion, it's a not so good aspect. It's not such a good time, because Venus is kind of out of her waters. She's not in Taurus, which is her sign, where she can indulge in the nature, she can indulge in nice things, she can indulge into food. No. And it's not even in Libra that she can indulge in anything artsy, in dancing or singing or anything at all, or something else. It's in Virgo, and Virgo is the one sign that is the giver. Virgo is the one that is trying to serve everyone. She is the server. She is the Virgin Mary with a child. That's the symbol of it. And Virgo is usually the one that gives to everyone. Is the one that remains back and makes sure that everyone is fed. That's the whole thing. So what I was saying in the Greek video is that try and give what you can give and what you have to give, but don't give in excess of what you have. Also, on the other side, don't demand that the other person gives you more than they can give. It might be a good time to speak your truth in your relationships with this full moon in the sign of relationships, which is Libra. Try and use this time to tell the truth and find your truth about your relationships, where you give a lot, where you feel like you're not getting enough, where you feel like you give yourself away in a not so good way. What else was there for this week? Yes, Venus in Virgo. Also, I wanted to talk about the moon, because in the next week, from Monday onwards, the moon is passing through Pisces, Aries and Taurus. So in Pisces is going to meet up with retrograding Neptune. Sorry, my Greek comes up. And it might give us a reason to believe that what we feel is real, but it might be based in an illusion. Neptune can be the one that gives us a higher purpose and a higher vibration with Uranus. But with the moon there, it might mean that what we feel might be an illusion and it's not very real. Also with Chiron in Aries, the Sun is going to be making an opposition, and there might be things that we need to solve, things that we need to come up to heal. And it might be something mental, something psychological, or something even in the body, something physical. So anything that might come up in this week and maybe even the next, it's coming up for you to solve, for you to heal, for you to make sure that you see it and you manage to find ways to heal. That's what I'm feeling. Chiron was the wounded doctor, if I can say that so, the wounded healer, and he managed to always heal everyone else except for himself. So with the Sun lighting up Chiron from an opposition at the moment, it might be that there are things that you need to heal. It might be in your relationships, or it might be in your mental, physical, or psychological, spiritual even landscapes. Check this out, see what comes up, maybe even use a journal to write down your dreams and see what they bring up, because as always the full moon is about the waters of your body, and things might come up there as well. I'm not quite sure what else I wanted to speak about, except maybe that the moon is going to be conjunct with Chiron, as I said, and then with Mars, which might bring us again in a way of forcing people to hear us and to believe that they do not give us what we need, that they don't count on us, or that they have their own agenda and we're just kind of playing along and we don't get what we need. If that is the case, do speak to the people that you feel are doing that. If it comes up, try and be more contemplating and be more conservative in the way you act and the way you speak, because things might go out of control with Mars retrograding. As Mars is doing an opposition with Mercury, and then Mercury with Uranus as well, which will continue until next week at least. And then the moon by the end of the week is conjuncting Uranus, so it might bring, and of course Mercury as well, so there might be things that come up in unexpected ways in order to solve things that are tormenting you psychologically and mentally. Try to use this time to heal yourself and find solutions to problems. Try to use this full moon in order to contemplate and to reflect on what happened in the last 2 weeks and how you can use that to move forwards, not to stay stuck. The energy of the Thoth tarot that I have in front of me here is that we are stuck somewhere and we need to get out of that stuck place, kind of like a swamp, that we're stuck in a swamp. So try and use whatever comes up, as unconventional as it may be, as weird as it might be. It might give you some way of solving things that you haven't thought of before. And I believe that I've explained as much as I can. If you have any ideas on anything you want to ask, if you have ideas about some spreads, if you want to talk about things that I can pick a card about in a spread, do let me know. As at the moment, for some reason, my not intuition, but my imagination is quite stuck. So do let me know if you find it interesting. Do let me know if you prefer it in English or in Greek, or in both, and I will do what I can. I'm hoping for next week to be able to post more regularly, and I will speak to you shortly. Take care and have a great week. Do not, or try not to, fight with anyone that doesn't deserve it. Thank you. Have a good week.